Peppa Pig is a show for children about a pig family who go on adventures. Wholesome, educational, completely harmless. Unless you sit down and actually think about what the adults are doing for a living, because once you start examining the jobs in Peppa Town, what they claim to do, what they visibly do, and what they would actually be doing if any of this were real, the whole thing falls apart in the funniest possible way. Every adult job in Peppa Pig is fake, and we are going to go through every single one of them. Daddy Pig, structural engineer. Daddy Pig is a structural engineer. He told Peppa this himself, and when she asked what that meant, he said,
"I take big numbers, transmute them, and calculate their load-bearing tangents."
Nobody knows what that means. Not Peppa, not Mummy Pig, not the structural engineers watching at home, and crucially, not Daddy Pig.
Eh? What?
What we actually see Daddy Pig do at work. He sits in an office and looks at shapes on a computer screen. That is the complete visual documentation of his professional life. Shapes. On a screen. He shares this office with Daddy Rabbit and Mummy Cat, and none of them appear to be doing anything that requires a professional qualification. His structural engineering credentials are further undermined by the following. He once tried to hang a picture frame on a wall. He put a hole in the wall, not a small hole. The kind of hole that makes you wonder if the wall had been structurally compromised by someone who definitely does not understand load-bearing tangents. He fixed it before Mummy Pig got home, which in the real world would constitute concealing a structural deficiency in a residential building. Exactly the thing a structural engineer is supposed to prevent. He also tested concrete for a living in one episode. He took the train to an unnamed Slavic country specifically to test concrete.
"Here is the concrete for you to test."
Daddy Pig is an expert at concrete.
This is real. A crowd gathered to watch him. They were excited. The structural engineer who cannot read a map.
Grandpa Pig, we've got a bit lost on the way to Windy Castle.
No, is Daddy Pig doing the map reading?
Yes.
Cannot hang a picture and explains his job using words he made up, is who an entire nation assembled to observe doing concrete analysis. D tier. Brilliant man. Zero professional credibility. Mummy Pig works from home. Mummy Pig works from home on her computer. This is the totality of what the show tells us. The job does not have a name. The computer does not display identifiable work.
Where's my work? There it is. Quick. Save, close, send.
When anyone asks what she is doing, the answer is always a variation of working. Reddit has spent considerable energy trying to identify Mummy Pig's profession. The leading theory is that she is a journalist or author based on one episode where she writes a book.
Not at the moment, Peppa. I need to finish the important book I'm writing.
She is also confirmed as a volunteer firefighter, which means she has at least 2 careers, the unnamed computer job and occasional emergency response, which is genuinely more diversified than most people's CVs. What she would actually be doing, based on the visual evidence of a laptop, a home office, and a persistent child wanting to play Happy Mrs. Chicken games on her screen, Mummy Pig is most likely a freelance writer who is constantly being interrupted and getting nothing done. Every work-from-home parent has confirmed this is accurate and also painful. B tier. Respectable, unverifiable, deeply relatable. Miss Rabbit, everything. Miss Rabbit has at minimum 14 documented jobs. Bus driver, supermarket cashier, librarian, helicopter pilot, firefighter, ice cream seller, nurse, shoe shop assistant, ticket seller, scuba diver, face painter, supermarket manager, gift shop owner on the moon. On the moon. This is not a character with a job. This is a character who is the economy. If Miss Rabbit took a week off, Peppa Town would collapse. The buses would not run. The supermarket would close. The helicopters would remain grounded. The Moon gift shop would have no one to sell Miss Rabbit-themed merchandise to. The Queen of England gave her an award in 2015 in a real episode for her extraordinary work ethic. The Queen, who presumably has access to employment records, gave an award to a single rabbit who holds every service industry job in a small British village. This is either the most deserved award in royal history or a government investigation waiting to happen. what Miss Rabbit would actually be doing in the real world. She would be the subject of a HMRC inquiry. You cannot simultaneously be a registered nurse, a licensed helicopter pilot, and a public transport operative without somebody asking questions. The NHS alone requires years of training. A commercial helicopter license requires hundreds of flight hours. She has both of these, plus she sells ice cream and works on the moon. Miss Rabbit is either the most qualified individual in human history, or she is operating outside every known regulatory framework simultaneously. There is no middle ground. S tier, unhinged, running the entire infrastructure of Peppa Town, deserves more than one award. We are about to get to Mr. Fox, who runs what is definitively the most suspicious business operation in the entire show, and Madame Gazelle, who has one job on paper and approximately zero evidence it is her real job. Stay with us. These are the ones the writers hid the best. Mr. Fox runs a shop. Mr. Fox runs a shop. The shop sells things. Specifically, the shop sells whatever the plot of any given episode requires, regardless of what type of shop it is supposed to be. Need a spare part for a broken machine? Mr. Fox has it. Need a very specific piece of equipment that does not exist in any normal retail context? Mr. Fox has it. The episode where his son Freddie Fox revealed that Mr. Fox sells rocks in packs of 5 is the key piece of evidence.
My dad sells rocks in packs of 5.
Rocks, packaged for retail sale, in a town where rocks are freely available on the ground outside every home. Mr. Fox is either the worst businessman in Peppa Town or the most successful one, depending on whether you are looking at his product range or his client retention. The fact that anyone buys packaged rocks from a shop, instead of picking them up from the street, suggests his customers have not thought very hard about their purchasing decisions, which is ultimately good for Mr. Fox. What he would actually be doing, the fan community consensus, and honestly the most supported by available evidence, is that Mr. Fox is running a gray market operation out of what appears to be a legitimate shopfront. He always has exactly what you need. Always. There is no supply chain for this. There is no back catalog. He just has it. The rocks in packs of 5 are either a money laundering front or the result of a man who has genuinely lost the thread of what retail is supposed to accomplish. Either way, do not ask where the stock comes from. C tier on paper, probably A tier if you understand what is actually happening. Madame Gazelle, playgroup teacher. Madame Gazelle runs Peppa's playgroup. She sings songs. She organizes activities. She teaches the children of Peppa Town in a group setting that appears to have no fixed curriculum, no standardized testing, and no Ofsted inspection record. Her qualifications for this role, unknown. Her professional background before becoming a playgroup teacher, also unknown, except for the portrait on her wall that appears to be from a much earlier century and the extensive evidence that she may be a vampire. No reflection, documented relationship with bats, avoidance of garlic in every cooking episode she appears in. The prevailing fan theory, documented across multiple communities, is that Madame Gazelle is approximately 300 years old and has held many positions across the centuries, only one of which is playgroup supervisor. The military portrait discovered in the Science Museum episode, a gazelle in an ancient uniform with Madame Gazelle's exact face, either confirms the theory or represents an extraordinary coincidence in the animation department. What she would actually be doing? If she is not a vampire, she is an extremely experienced educator who has chosen, out of genuine calling or tactical concealment, to spend her days singing with small animals in a building that appears to have no planning permission. If she is a vampire, she has successfully embedded herself into the social fabric of Peppa Town's primary educational institution, which is either deeply sinister or exactly the kind of stable community role that suits someone operating on a 3-century timeline. B tier for the teaching. S tier for the centuries of accumulated professional experience she has chosen not to disclose. Grandpa Pig, retired. Grandpa Pig is retired. This is his stated professional status. He used to do something, it is not specified. He now sails a boat, tends a garden, keeps chickens, and maintains a lighthouse. The lighthouse is the detail that matters. Operating a lighthouse is a professional role with regulatory requirements. Grandpa Pig has a lighthouse. He appears to be running it informally, without any acknowledgement from maritime authorities, as a personal retirement hobby. If there is a ship somewhere in Peppa's coastal waters that is navigating by Grandpa Pig's retirement lighthouse, that ship deserves whatever happens to it. S tier for life choices, unregulated maritime hazard. Mr. Bull, construction. Mr. Bull digs up the road. He builds houses, he fixes roofs. He operates heavy machinery and appears across dozens of episodes to be responsible for the majority of Peppa Town's infrastructure. He also digs up the same roads he just fixed. Repeatedly, this is either catastrophically poor project management or a deeply efficient business model in which Mr. Bull creates his own demand by introducing structural problems that require him to be called back. In the real world, this would be investigated. In Peppa Town, it is just what Mr. Bull does. He digs, he builds, he fills in what he dug. He will be back next Tuesday to dig it again. A tier for job security. Nobody in Peppa Town is questioning the infrastructure cycle. Mr. Bull has achieved what every contractor dreams of, a client base that never runs out of problems because he is the source of the problems. The verdict: Peppa Town's economy is held together by a rabbit who works every job simultaneously, a fox who sells rocks in packets, a structural engineer who cannot hang a picture, and a potentially immortal vampire teaching nursery songs to small animals. The adults of Peppa Pig are not working. They are performing the idea of working while the actual infrastructure of the town runs entirely through Miss Rabbit. Give Miss Rabbit a raise. She is on the moon, she has earned it.